Hey everyone, Adipod here. Today I will go through the winter season of 2025. So you're gonna find out what shows I plan to watch during this season of anime. Watching is not the same as reaction. I still don't know what shows I plan to react to. You will see in the future when I upload videos. Because sometimes the schedule can change for some shows, etc. So I don't want to make any promises right now. I also will not go through each anime that is airing this winter season because I've already made decisions because I've already checked synopsis and trailers, etc. So I will only go through the shows that I actually plan to watch and talk a little bit about those. I also recommend you guys to check out my Twitter account and follow me there because I'm more active on Twitter than I am on YouTube. With that said, I guess we can move on to the list, right? So I'm gonna start with the ones that are continuing or maybe continuing from the fall season, and I'm going to explain more in detail what I mean with that. But anyway, we're going to start with the first show, which is Run and a Half, the remake. So this one is a maybe for now because it's not, as far as I know, it's not confirmed yet how many cores this one will have. So I don't know if this one will end when fall season ends or if it will continue in the winter season. But if it will continue in the winter season, then this one is 100% yes that I will continue. But we have to wait for more info about that. So me putting this one in the list is no confirmation of anything because I don't really know how long this one will go on. But I still wanted to put it in the list in case it gets too coarse. But yeah, I don't know. We just have to wait and see because it hasn't been confirmed at all. I think how long it's going to be. But anyway, this is my anime of the season at the moment, actually. I have it as a 10 out of 10. I've grown up with the manga for this. That's why I love it so much. I love the characters, I love the story, I love the comedy. I bought merch for this anime because I love it so much. And yeah, I'm discussing this one a lot on Twitter as well. So yeah, um, that's what I can say about this one. I think we can move on now, actually, to the next one, which is Orb, which is right now in the fall season, but continuing the winter season. And I wasn't actually planning to watch this one from the start, but I heard good things about it, so I decided to, you know what, let's take a look at it. It was after episode 3, I sort of hear very good stuff. But yeah, I do think it's a solid show. I thought it was very strong at the start. It does have an interesting concept. Um, Not as strong about it lately, but it's still a solid show. So I'm gonna keep watching it. Moving on to the next one, which is Solo Leveling Season 2, which actually this was a last minute decision for me because I was actually planning to skip on this. Because I did watch season one, and I thought with season one I could fall asleep to season one, to be honest. I did not like it. But you know, I did watch season one. I realized, you know what, I'm gonna have time to watch, so I might as well sit through season two as well. And maybe it becomes better than season one. I don't know, but considering how I felt about season one, I'm not as excited about this one. But we'll see how it turns out. I could be wrong. Moving on to the next one, which is Sakamoto Days, a Netflix show, and apparently the story is that this former gang member or gang leader or something like that retires because he's getting married. He's got a kid now, and he just wants a normal life, but people are still after him. And I think we, I would assume we're gonna see a lot of mix here on um, action and comedy. I think there's gonna be a lot of comedy here, probably. But we shall see. Now, one thing that I've heard other people say it, that they are concerned with the production of this one because while many people say that the manga is good, they're a bit. I don't remember what studio is making this one, but I heard people say that they're a bit concerned with the studio of this, how the production is going to be. But we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, moving on to the next one, which is Dr. Stone, Science Future, which I think is the last season of Dr. Stone. So we're gonna see how this one ends. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say. I'm watching it because I watched all of the seasons well. It's a solid show. I'm gonna not more than that, but although I did think the last season before this one actually was the strongest one I felt for Doctor Stone. So hopefully the last season will be very exciting. We'll see. Anyway, moving on to the next one, and that is the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You season two. And I'm watching this because I watched season two. I'm not sure how much I'm going to discuss this one though, because for you guys who saw my reactions of this show and my final score, which I also shared here on YouTube when it was airing about a year ago, I wasn't as strong about this one as many others. And I also got criticized for that also in the comments box. Not much I'm thinking about, because people have different opinions. That's just how it is. But yeah, considering how I felt about the first season and the reception I got from that, I'm not sure how much I really want to talk about this one actually. What I can say is that I'm not feeling as strong about this one as many others. I think this one is an average show, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't I'm not I don't think it really stood out in any way. I think that's what I can say about this one. But I'm still gonna be watching it. I know there's gonna be other girls too than it was in season one, so we're gonna see how they are. Anyway, moving on to next one, which is My Happy Marriage season two, and this one is one that I'm looking forward to. I did really enjoy season one. Not so much the supernatural stuff, maybe, but the romance was very wholesome, and the you could feel a lot of sympathy for Mio, the main character, and yeah, it was a really good show. I think season one. And although I didn't like as much in supernatural stuff, it was still interesting at the end to see more about Mio's powers. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Moving on, next one is Honey Lemon Soda, which is apparently, I'm guessing this one is going to be more a romance. Um, I I usually like to watch a lot of romance shows when it comes. That's kind of why I chose this one as well. So don't have too much else to say. Um, but it's on my plan to watch. Yep, moving on to I'm getting married to a girl I hate in my class. So I'm thinking this one is probably going to be one that I'm actually looking forward to because I usually like these shows where the two main guy and main girl hates each other pretty much or don't get along, but then you see them start develop feelings for each other. I usually love that concept. I, for example, remember a few years ago I watched one that was called More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers. I love that show. I'm not sure if this is going to be on the same level as that one, but the whole concept at least should be fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to this one. Next one is I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. So I this sounds a lot like this is a light novel. Yeah, I see it now. So this is a light novel, which so I can also see on the long title. And usually those are very generic in my opinion. They're very average. The reason, and I wouldn't say I'm too strong about the story either. The reason I chose this one is mainly because it's Cloverworks. If it wasn't Cloverworks who made this, I'd probably be skipping on this one. But because it's Cloverworks, I want to see how this one turns out. I guess that's what I can say for this. Let's move on. Next one is Medaka Kuroiwa is impervious to my charm. So as I understand the story, the popular girls, everyone falls for her. She's very popular, but then there's this one guy who doesn't really react to her charm, and she's trying harder to get his attention. And I'm guessing that's where the romance is gonna kick in. So could be fun. So yeah, I'm gonna be watching this one. Next up, we have Senshu. So this, I think this is an original, right? If I'm not mistaken, from Studio Mappa. I'm going to read a bit about the synopsis. After graduating from high school, Natsuko Hirose starts her career as an animator. Her talent quickly flourishes, and she makes her debut as a director in no time. Her first anime becomes a massive hit, sparkling a social phenomenon and earning her recognition as an up and coming genius director. Her next project is set to be a romantic comedy movie themed around first love. However, having never been in love herself, Natsuko struggles to understand the concept of first love, and as a result, she is unable to create the storyboard, causing the movie production to come to a standstill. So, all right, that could be interesting. To be honest, when I looked at the pictures first, I thought that this was going to be like ancient Japan story or something like that, like the samurais or something like that. But I guess this was actually that might be her holding the pen. I don't know. Yeah. Um, I misunderstood the picture. Anyway, it could be interesting. I'm watching mainly because it's an original from Mappa. I don't think I have watched too many original. I know Mappa makes a lot of shows, but I don't remember seeing many original shows from them. So we're gonna see how this one turns out. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Oh, I don't have the English name here. Oh, I have a crush at work is the English title. So yeah, work romance. Um, I usually like those. As I understand it too, these two already are in love with each other. So it's not something that's going to be built up. It looks like we're just going to see the wholesome moments between them as they are in love at the office, which could be fun. So yeah, this one. Yeah, I'm going to be watching this one. Looks wholesome, looks nice. So I'll be watching it. Next up, we have uh, Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. So this one actually caught my attention because, I don't see too many reverse isekais anymore. And this one looks to be, as I understand it, the elf girl is in his dreams. And then when he wakes up, she's also in the bed. And then she starts living with him in Japan. And I'm guessing from here, maybe he's going to show her around Japan. We see the castle in the background, which I honestly think this is going to be a very fun show to watch. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. Moving on to Medalist, an ice skating um, show, if I'm not mistaken. And that's kind of why I want to watch this one because, it's. I don't watch a lot of ice skating shows, so it could be interesting. I guess that's what I can say about this one. Next up, we have Okitsura fell in love with an Okinawan girl, but I just wish I know what she's saying. And honestly, guys, if you look at the girl from on the left, she looks a lot like an Okinawan version of Nagatoro. If you look at the the previous two, she looks Hina Kian, her name is apparently. If we scroll down a bit, there she is, Hina Kian. She looks a lot like Nagatoro. But yeah, I'm gonna be watching this one. Um, we'll see how it turns out, but it looks to be another romance show. So yeah, and an Okinawan show. I haven't watched any Okinawan shows since Aquatope, which I actually did enjoy. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. All right, let's move on. Next up is Momentary Lily, which is an original from Gohans. I haven't watched too many Gohans before, actually. The one that I did watch and really, really liked was the girl that I liked forgot my glasses. I actually love that one. When looking at the preview of this one, it looks like it's going to be a lot of action in this one, actually. So yeah, we're gonna see how this one turns out. I'm excited about this one. All right, the next one is the daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world. So as I understand it, he goes to another world and he can shop for things from his previous world. I actually think I saw in the trailer that he bought a truck or something like that. Like truck couldn't follow him to the new world. Doesn't happen usually. It's just usually the main guy and Truckun is still in the other world. Anyway, I do think the concept of this online shopper going to the other world and so I'm gonna be checking this one out. Could be fun. And the last one on my plan to watch for the winter season is Pasokari Hotel, and this one is a maybe because I haven't seen anyone pick this one up yet, so I'm not sure if I can watch this one. But I do think it looks interesting, like a mystery. Somehow, it reminds me a bit when I watched the trailer. Somehow it reminds me a bit of Shadow's House, and I did enjoy Shadow's House. But we're gonna see if it's. I think it's at least mystery somehow. Um, but we're gonna see how this one turns out. Yeah, that was really my list for shows that I plan to react to during the winter season of 2025. So I think we can make a little bit of recap here of the shows that I plan to watch. So the first one was Ram and a Half. If it continues in the winter season, we don't know that yet, but if it's gonna be on my list. Next up is Orb. Next up, Solo Leveling Season 2. Next up, Sakamoto Days, Dr. Stone, The 100 Girlfriends Season 2, My Happy Marriage Season 2, Honey Lemon Soda, I'm Getting Married to a Girl I Hate in My Class, I'm a big guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time, Medaka Kuroiwa is impervious to my charms, Senshu, I have a crush at work, Welcome to Japan Miss Elf, Medalist, Okitsura, Momentary Lily, The Daily Life of a Middle-Aged Online Shopper in the World, and finally, Pasukare Hotel. So that's my list. Um, so before we end, I guess I also want to talk a little bit about shows that I'm not watching because I might get the questions later on. But generally speaking, if you don't see a sequel in this plan to watch, or if you don't see a show that you were interested in, it just wasn't grasping my attention. And I, even though I'm watching a lot this season, I don't want to get watch too much anyway. Um, One good example of one that I will not be watching is season 2 of Apothecary Diaries because I dropped season 1. I didn't actually like that one. But yeah, generally speaking, the others that you don't see in the list, they didn't grasp my attention, or I dropped, or I didn't watch the sequel before, or the prequel, I mean. Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say really. As I said before, I would advise you guys to follow me on Twitter because while I don't know how many shows I'm going to be reacting to or talking about on YouTube, I'm much more active on Twitter when it comes to talking about shows that I'm not reacting to. So if you are curious about shows that I'm watching on my own, you can check Twitter. I usually talk about the shows there. Anyhow, I don't have anything else to say, so let me know what you think of the list. If there's anything else you prefer to watch, you can tell me in the comment section. And other than that, let's look forward to a new year and new anime. So, yeah, have a nice day. Bye.